Welcome to Campus Curiosity, the podcast about research at Utah Tech University.
Each episode, we explore the projects and people pushing ideas forward.
This is Blazing Research Across Disciplines. Awesome. Well, everybody, welcome to the very first ever Campus Curiosity podcast, research podcast for the research office. So we're really excited today. We are with Dr. Joshua Cafferty. And so if you guys want to introduce yourselves, we'll just kind of go this way.
Yeah, my name is Austin. I'm a sophomore. I'm a sociology student.
My name is Josh Cafferty. I'm a professor in the Applied Sociology program.
My name is Alexi Lundgren. I'm a senior in the Applied Sociology program.
Awesome. So let's just dive right in here. If you guys want to talk to me a little bit about what your research is, just to let the viewers know kind of what context we're coming from.
Yeah, so our overall kind of research goal is to look at water conservation attitudes and behaviors in Washington County and trying to kind of see the social factors that are leading to people feeling different ways or acting different ways.
Absolutely. So how long have you guys been doing this for?
Not for very long. We just started at the beginning of the semester.
Oh my goodness.
So we're still in the beginning elements of our research.
Yeah. What was your first impression like coming into this?
Totally. Well, Dr. Cafferty had talked to me about this last year, and to be honest, water research isn't something I necessarily was interested in the first place. But the more that I've gone into in the last couple of weeks, the research process has been really interesting and really engaging for me. So it's been really exciting.
So with our kind of polytechnic model and the active learning, active life kind of mission goal of Utah Tech, we are a teaching university. That's our number one priority, is to educate students. But we think that one of the best ways that we can do that is through applied learning, through doing the actual stuff that people will be doing at the next step. So instead of, the theory is important, the lectures are important, but we want to be able to apply that knowledge in a meaningful way. And research, I think, is one of the best ways that we can do that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I'm so excited that we have this here.
Right.
It's a bummer I find out in my last semester, but
Yeah. Hopefully people will see this and they'll know a little bit earlier.
Exactly. Awesome. So what brought you personally, to each of you, what brought you personally into this field of research on focusing on water? Like, where did it come from? What was your aspirations, your goals?
Yeah, I'll kick this one off since I kind of dragged them into this field. So when I went to my PhD program at UC Irvine, also another area where they've had a lot of issues with water scarcity. So when I first got there, I was kind of picking what focus I wanted to do, and I'm really outdoorsy. I love environmental stuff, and I was like, you know what? We have this field called environmental sociology. I want to dive into that. And then at that university, they had a research institute, like some of the ones that we have here, but theirs was called Water UCI. They had a fellowship program out my first year. I applied for that, got that fellowship, and then I worked with them for the next 4 years on various projects, working with middle school outreach programs, community college, different research projects, and really just kind of fell in love with the field of water research and kind of, what the implications of that are.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Austin?
I actually got into sociology as a whole just kind of on a whim. My sister recommended the class to me, and I loved it so much that when the opportunity to do some extra work came up during class, I just happened to raise my hand. That was about the extent of all I knew about applied research going into this. So I've actually been having a lot of learning, but it's been exciting.
Yeah. How do you think this learning will accelerate you in your future endeavors?
Yeah, like for me personally, the transition from doing homework and stuff just to do homework to instead taking those skills to the actual job and like workplace, actually applying it into that has been kind of a new experience. The jobs that I've had before have been kind of not really about anything that I'm studying, so it's been fun actually.
Yeah.
Applying it into my everyday work.
Yeah. What about you?
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Well, I'm from Oregon and also a transfer student from BYU. And so coming into Utah Tech University, such as a smaller school and a more hands-on learning approach has been really applicable to my life and my learning style as well. like I said before, I got this opportunity to study with Dr. Cafferty talking about water conservation. And even though, like I said before, it wasn't necessarily a topic I was super interested in at first, the more that we've gone into it, we've been working a lot with community partners, and to work with them and their level of interest in this topic has gotten me super passionate, not only about water, but about finding something I'm equally as passionate about too. It's been really inspiring for me.
That's incredible. That is really neat. What part of Oregon are you from?
I'm from Corvallis.
Beautiful. I have family in Bend,
There we
so
go.
I'm in love with that area.
Totally.
Just Central Oregon's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. And where are you from, Austin?
I'm from here. I grew up in Utah most of my life. I transferred here from Salt Lake Community College.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about
Absolutely.
a year ago.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the benefits students get from getting involved in research at Utah Tech. Would you guys like to elaborate, Austin or Lexi?
I would just honestly just add that it's been such a good experience for me, particularly because it's pushed me outside of my comfort zone in ways where sitting in a lectured class, this is totally different. This disciplinary of getting more hands-on learning, working with the community, working closer with my coworker and with my professor, it's given me a total different perspective of my learning, which is something I've really appreciated from this experience.
Yeah, it's like a whole new approach.
Exactly.
Very applied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to help my confidence, especially just because I'm getting an expertise on something that I'm going to be able to actually use every day and kind of show it off to people. Not really show it off to people, but we're
it
gonna
up.
be.
You're on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just-
You made it.
I'm excited to show the results and have something that I'm kind of tied to.
Yeah.
That's a really exciting feeling.
That is exciting. Yeah. I agree.
Absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. Perfect. And then, what options does the region have for water resources, and why should we be studying this? So we touched a little bit about Utah and their understanding of it, but if you want to elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, so in Washington County specifically, we have the Virgin River, and that's it. So basically that refills all the groundwater here. That's what makes Sand Hollow. That's what makes Quail Creek, all these different reservoirs that we have is from that river. So if that starts running dry, we're pretty much out of options, which it's starting to run a little drier. So in terms of the options, what to do, obviously building the reservoirs back in the 70s and 80s was the first big step that they had to do. We wouldn't have enough water today for the population that we have if they hadn't done those projects in the past. So it's kind of them looking at the future. Currently, the Water Conservation District, their main goal is, not Water Conservation District, the Water District. Their main goal is conservation because that's the cheapest, easiest thing to go after. And then the next step is going to be a water reuse program. So that's the next one. There was talks previously about a pipeline to Lake Powell. But if you know anything about what's happening with that, they're actually starting to get to historic lows as well. And that pipeline just probably isn't going to happen in terms of being able to bring water here. So the options are use less of it and water reuse.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many misconceptions about water reusage. Do you want to elaborate on like how water reusage is actually safe and the best option?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. The one that they're planning here, they would it's actually going to be the cleanest water out of any water resource, whether it's from the reservoirs, whether it's directly from wells, because of the water filtration system that they're going to use in the process. So because of this, it becomes the most tested, the cleanest form of water, and they're not actually going, as far as I know right now, I might be getting this aspect wrong, they're not going to initially do it direct to tap. There is some water reuse that's happening in Washington County right now for irrigation and different stuff like that. But they're going to build a brand new plant, and it's going to be a little while here. It's about $1 billion project. So it takes, it takes
Right.
a lot of work. It's very expensive water, but it's very clean water and very safe water.
Long lasting as well. Like
Yeah.
Totally.
it's expensive, but it's gonna get us water.
Exactly. And
get
right
to
now,
shower.
right now we just dump that water back into the Virgin River and it goes down and people in other states are using it. So we're actually kind of just giving up that resource when we could be utilizing it here multiple times.
Yeah,
Right.
that is so interesting. Do you guys have any other thoughts about water reusage or anything like that?
I'm learning how important it is,
Mhm.
especially because it affects all of us. And so it's a cause that we should all be more educated about and maybe a little bit more passionate about too, because it affects every single one of us too.
Yeah.
I think it can definitely be a huge positive. I think that a lot of people just don't know too much about it. It's something we've been learning a lot
Right.
about, especially with these community meetings.
Mhm.
And you can see how important it is to
Right.
these people.
Yeah. 100%. Very well said. My goodness. Okay. Perfect. So, what research methods do you guys use that best capture household water behaviors in regions like southern Utah?
Why don't you?
Sorry, it's a big one.
Yeah. Well, because we're trying to understand a general attitude of St. George, we're trying to get the largest sample size that we can. So the most amount of people to take part of this research as we can. So we've ultimately decided that a survey would be the best way to do this. And so we're hoping to get as many people participating in the survey as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And we're going into a lot of data analysis about past surveys that have been used. The issue is trying to find one that is similar to the things that we're looking for and also similar geographically because we want something that's unique to this area as well,
Right.
rather than just generally.
Yeah, absolutely. Will your guys' survey, will it be like public? Could we get like a QR code from you? We could publish it.
Oh,
'Kay,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect. We'll be
Oh,
sure
yeah.
to
We want
spread
as
the
much,
word.
Yeah,
Yes.
as much participation as we can get. So,
Yeah, Sarah and I will fill it out.
Yeah.
Hey, that's two.
Yeah, that's two
Already
already.
started. Yeah.
And my mom,
then-
that's three.
And your mom. And my mom, because she'll be watching this. So,
And then we plan, we're thinking about, depending on how much time we have and everything, about doing qualitative interviews after that. So kind of gathering the data on the surveys and getting a general idea. And then if we kind of see something that resonates amongst a lot of people that we want to dive in deeper to, we're thinking about using that opportunity down the line to do interviews to get a more in-depth look at, okay, how are people actually thinking about this particular spot? But we think the survey is a good place to start because we can
Right.
get a general idea about
Right.
those attitudes.
yeah, that's a ton of research.
Yeah.
Like, how many hours in a week are you guys spending on like research, analytics, stuff like that?
So him and I did a really long training to make sure that our research was super ethical, and it took a lot of hours, but it's important. It's
Wow.
good groundwork to cover.
Yeah, and it's so important to keep ethics in mind when you're doing
Exactly.
this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So if you're doing research on campus that's going to be disseminated outside of the classroom in some facet, so like this, we plan on publishing the results. So we have to make sure that it's done properly. If you're doing a research project that's going to stay within the classroom, you usually don't have as much barriers around that. But for this, we do have to get IRB approval and everything through the university.
Wow, there's so many steps that you just don't think about, but
Right.
it's important to know.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
cool. Because then it's like credible research.
Yes.
That's it.
Google Scholar research.
Google Scholar. There we
You
go.
guys are going to be on Google Scholar.
Oh,
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
No,
That's
it actually
cool.
really is exciting. You know, we're undergraduate students, but the fact that we'll have published research, hopefully by the end of next year, is really exciting for us.
And that's going to look super good on a resume too.
Super good.
Like
Absolutely.
publications,
Oh, totally.
Get into
water
any grad school.
conservation,
Grad
any
school.
for real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's my next step, so this will really help me get there.
Yay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Let's see here. In what ways can Utah Tech's Polytechnic model, so like hands-on research, applied modeling, industry collaboration like you were mentioning earlier, how does this prepare student researchers to generate scalable water solutions that advance DeserTech initiatives? So we'll talk a little bit about DeserTech too.
Yeah, I'll jump in with the DeserTech part, and then
Yeah.
if y'all want to think about what you can. So DeserTech is one of the Utah Tech's kind of gone through this process of we became a university. What's going to be our main focus? Most universities have different things that they focus in on. They're known for this particular aspect or something like that. So Utah Tech's been kind of laying the groundwork for this since we became a university. One of the main research areas is going to be DeserTech. So it's this idea about how do we live in desert environments, whether that's through the engineering of, the living in a harsh environment, but then also things like how do we understand social attitudes around conservation and different aspects like this. So my research, one of the reasons that I think they might have hired me here, I mean, I wasn't on the review board or anything, is because I do this research that's so related to one of the areas that they're kind of wanting to be known for here. So DeserTech is, it's just that idea about how do we live here? How can Utah Tech help this place grow sustainably so that everybody can live here happy and comfortably?
Totally.
Wow.
And, Dr. Cafferty could very easily do this research on his own, probably a lot faster, a lot more effectively too. And I even asked him that towards the beginning, like, why are you involving us students? Because we're probably not going to be super helpful.
Yeah.
We don't really know what we're doing.
Ask your questions.
Right? But it's all about learning doesn't just happen in the classroom. It happens when we look outside of the classroom, our real world problems, and connect with our communities. And so that's why he's involving us to teach us this process, although it's probably painful for him. But it's been a great opportunity for us to look outside of the classroom and beyond our own means, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a safe environment to kind of, you feel all right messing up. Like,
Totally.
It's not an environment where it's an internship where I know that I'm first on the chopping block or anything like that. I know that this is a learning experience, and I want to try my best because of it. I want to be able to be the best researcher I can be. And I think that if more students get involved and it becomes a bigger thing in campus, it would be a really good cultural change.
Totally.
100%.
For students to get more and more involved with what they're actually learning about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love this university to go towards research.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be incredible to be on a publication, right?
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Totally.
That's super cool. Do you guys think you'll, looking forward, do you think you'll conduct kind of more research projects? And
I don't know, actually. I still have 2 years, so I think I'll be around for maybe 1 or 2 more.
So yes.
Yeah.
so yes. So he's
You
a
will be.
researcher.
You're locked in.
Yep.
I'm actually, one of my classes that I'm taking right now is a directed research class with Dr. Cafferty. It's a 3-credit class where it's pretty much just him and I, where I'm conducting my own research. So I plan on doing qualitative interviews, going a totally different direction. I'm studying sociology and religion. But
Cool.
it's been really interesting for me to work on quantitative research here with water, but also qualitative research on my own. It's like I'm getting both sides and both perspectives, but it's inspiring me in my other research on learning how to do and go that way too.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you're like juggling all of this different
So much research.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah. Do they ever intertwine at all, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the process is very similar for both of them, even though they're very different things, but they intertwine a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every new project is
Wow.
its own IRB. Yeah, you only have to do the training once though, and it lasts for 3 years. So if you're
Cool.
a sophomore and you do it, you'll be good for your rest of the time here. So
You guys are good for
as long
3
as
years.
you graduate in time.
Yes. Wow.
I took 5 years for undergrad, so
I'm right there with you, actually. So
That's okay.
yeah, it's a journey, not a race.
Yes,
Totally.
definitely.
Totally.
Well, what are some of the expansions we can see with DeserTech? Like, I'm also just learning about this. This is really new and interesting information, and I think more people need to get involved, be involved. So if you want to expand about what students can see in the future in regards to DeserTech.
Yeah, so I think so I'm the director of the Institute of Social Research. So I'm kind of trying to push that in a direction where we have multiple research projects going at a time, and especially interdisciplinary studies. So I think one of the things that's great about this being a smaller university is we do have more connection amongst faculty between departments, right? Because some departments are 2 people, some are 10. It's not
Yeah.
these 50 people departments where you're like, I don't have the bandwidth to make friends with people outside. So especially when we're thinking about DeserTech, the social sciences, especially sociology, are great to study this, but they're not going to give us all the answers and all the solutions either. So if we're thinking about people wanting to transition to desert landscaping and more sustainable water usage, they're going to be using things like drip irrigation and other technologies where we can come together and think, okay, what would make people more likely to want to conserve water in this way? And then we can work with engineering, or we can work with these other departments to help develop, okay, what does this actually look like? Or we can work with mathematics in terms of modeling how different initiatives are actually going to, play out in these different areas. So I think what students can expect to see with DeserTech especially is a lot more interdisciplinary research, where they're not only learning or working on stuff that is particular to their discipline, but they're learning how to work with everyone else, which we know that's how the real world works.
Right.
You don't
Yeah.
work in a silo. You have to be able to work with people that have different thoughts, working on different types of projects. And I think that's the direction that we're going to be going in.
Yeah, that's why I do love Utah Tech and its polytechnic mission. It's like every single student is involved and working to create this like community. I don't know.
Right.
It's really neat.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah. I guess I want to talk a little bit about the community here in terms of like the expansion of St. George. So like, how does the expansion of luxury houses and golf courses correlate with per capita water demand and projected shortages? St. George, it's a growing city. It's getting pretty congested.
Yeah.
So like what can we, like, how is this going to impact our water, I guess?
Yeah. So if we, I'll kind of shoot some stuff, and then if y'all want to jump in with anything. It's definitely a point of contention in the community, and it should be. People should think about growth and what impact that has, and think about the way to do this responsibly. So one of the things that's kind of already happened here, something that's super interesting, is St. George specifically was one of the highest per capita water users in the country. And a lot of people like to blame that on the golf courses or these other different aspects, but 54% of the water that's used in this water district is residential. So it's actually people's front lawns, all of this different kind of stuff is taking up the vast majority of our water. Golf courses have an impact, and I have my own opinions on them, but I'll leave those kind of
yes.
where they are. But that all industry, including golf courses in Washington County, take up about 23% of our water. So it's not actually the main driver or the main thing that conservation should focus on. It should be a part of it, and we should do that more sustainably and smartly. But the key factor is that the water district and these other areas, a lot of people say we should stop growth. That's not actually allowed. You can't. The water district's mission is to supply water for the residents that live here. They're not allowed to say, no, you can't build another house or you can't do this, as long as people meet the specific requirements that are put forward. So I think a lot of the energy that's put into fighting growth should be turned into how can we grow in a way that our communities still function really well, keep our walkability, keep that traffic down and congestion. How can we think about strategies and ways that we can kind of weather this through and make this a great, thriving community that it already is and continues to be?
Yeah, because with expansion comes opportunity, right? So I love St. George, and I grew up coming here, but seeing it expand is actually like a very exciting thing for me, right?
Great. Well, as a college student in St. George, I don't plan on staying here permanently, but college students are still part of the community. Even though I'm only here temporarily, I'm a part of the St. George community. So I feel like it's my responsibility to take part in this and to be active in this. And that's at least part of my research in this, is I'm interested in helping this community, at least in the short time that I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another interesting perspective.
Right.
Is during the summertime, a lot of students go home.
Totally.
I'm wondering, like, does water usage go down during the summertime because there's less students here? Like, how does the influx of students coming in and out and the local community, like, how does that intertwine and impact the water?
Yeah, so overall, not much. And the reason is that Utah Tech is making changes in this area. So I want to be very clear to anyone watching that, is in charge of my job, that most of the water use on campus isn't actually done in the dorms. Most of the water use on campus is outside those doors on all that green space. So
It's beautiful green space.
Yeah, which that obviously they're using more water to keep that green during the summer. So they have made a lot of areas where they've started to desertscape things and do things a little bit more sustainably. And they're looking at doing more of that in the future and kind of leaning into that DeserTech aspect. But I think especially if we're going to be, kind of one of the voices of conservation in this DeserTech thing and how we move forward, we need to lead by example.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like I said, they're starting to do this. This is not me saying everybody. It's a slow process to work through these different initiatives, but. So I think we need to lead by example in that. But to, kind of answer your question on students, that doesn't necessarily impact it because most of that 54% of residential water usage, about 90% of it is going outside. So it's
Right.
getting dumped on the lawns.
Yes, because that's what you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good news, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all can take your extra minute in the shower.
The more people, the better.
Just
I'm
kidding.
like, everything shower's still a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Ideal. Is there anything you guys want to add? Anything you want to let our viewers know? Our very first episode.
Well, if you are interested at all in doing anything with social research, definitely reach out to me at the Institute of Social Research. If you're interested in water or anything that I could connect you with, whether it's interdisciplinary, be happy to help you. And thank you all so much for having us on here. This has been great.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming and just being patient with our first show. It's been honestly a pleasure getting to know you guys. And honestly, you should just come back every week.
Okay.
I'm like, run it back. Let's do it again.
Deal.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Campus Curiosity.
Stay curious and join us next time as we share more research from Utah Tech University.